This is day 3 of the April-May 2006 4-day retreat in Springwater. There were a number of questions that came out of meetings, and neglected to say something about the talks at the beginning of the retreat, so I'll say it now. If a question is brought up, it may be put in a way that seems more conducive to looking at, and so it may sound different than how it happened in the meeting. So just to be aware of that, and not necessarily think that something was misunderstood. And it's just an opportunity to look freshly at the question, observation, whatever it is. I was undecided which question to look at, so maybe I'll start by reading them all. And just to say too that the question isn't mine or yours. It may not at this moment seem relevant, maybe the next moment, but can there be an open wondering, looking together, looking together? So one is, how do I integrate the so-called spiritual life with my daily life? And it mentioned in the dialogue group this questioning of identification with the body. So there was wondering, does this mean that this body is sort of cut off? Something I may have lived with, was very painful. I don't want to go there again. Is that what's meant, implied by non-identification with the body? Another question was, it's not so difficult to be with nature, to be open to the birds, the rustling of leaves, watching that little chipmunk. It's amazing. I don't know if it's he or she. It's so quick when it moves. It's so utterly still when it's not moving. So to be with all of that, undividedly, feeling of me and that, it's touchable, that's experienceable. But when it comes to people, feelings of separation come up. Is that something we can all relate to? Maybe we'll start with that. Question comes up, what is our relationship with each other? Honestly, if we look. Is it wanting something from the other? Wanting some kind of support. I don't mean just materially, but inwardly. Support of how I am. That's okay. Do we want to be loved by the other? Appreciated? Treated with respect? Be understood? To be listened to? And how are we with each other? Not just what we expect. Do we bring past hurts? Memories of what you did, what you said to me? Do we carry that around? Maybe in the background, but still sort of simmering there. So, do we ever see each other freshly. Which, looking at it now, does that mean that this me with its expectations and wants and all, that needs to be annihilated or wiped out? Or does something happen when these inner movements are seen? Is the wearing enough? Honest awaring? What relationship is, not the word, but the actuality of how we are. We talk a lot about, we all use that sort of metaphor of people pushing our buttons. And it's so amazing to see, time and time again, that what seems to irk one, rub one the wrong way in someone else, is something that if one really looks here, can be seen right here. And actually, that's not so surprising, because there is no me in you. It's one human consciousness. Maybe varying degrees of particularities, depending on causes and conditioning in each of us, but it's shared. It's not mine or yours. And there's such a freedom to look at it that way, without the sense of identification. There we go with that word. And the sort of self-enclosingness of that. So maybe it sounds simplistic to say that bringing some awareness to our relationships, to what we're thinking about each other, to how we talk or don't talk, how we ignore at times. Bringing some awareness see what that does. Not that it's in order to have a result. It's already the me in there, wanting something. Again, this is me activity, which isn't bad or good, but a watching without the watcher, without judgment, not how I should be or you should be, would like to be. But how we actually are at this moment. It's in this awareing that something new may be given space to emerge. You want to put a word on it: compassion, understanding, love. That's what we want, isn't it, from each other? Can that be found right here? In oneself. Even saying those words, it sounds dualistic in a way, so go lightly with words. Because it's when the self is in the background with its wants and needs, demands, this love, open being, listening, is possible. Maybe that responds to this question of how to bring together the spiritual work in my daily life. Which raises the question, doesn't it? What is spiritual life, spiritual work, and what is my daily life? Isn't this what has occurred throughout history, this division? difficulties in relationship, in job, feeling cut off, dissatisfied, lack of meaning, and then we look to something else, something other than this. And call that religion, religious work. Or can it be said that bringing awareness to moment living is that religious work? Religion, the word meaning bringing together whole what was broken. Being completely with what's here. Whether it's washing out the bowl or raking the gravel. Talking to a friend. Eating meals together or alone. Just remembered many years ago, I was still at the Rochester Zen Center, and they organized, I think it was like a little conference of speakers. And Roshi Kapleau gave a talk, and I think Gary Snyder was there, the poet, and did some readings. And Thich Nhat Hanh was there. This must have been before he became so famous, because it was a pretty small hall. Now I think hundreds and hundreds of people go to hear him. But it really moved me at the time, because with all this other talking about I don't know if it had to do with Buddhist doctrine or various kind of scholastically involved, almost felt like dissertations. And when Thich Nhat Hanh spoke, he spoke of this work as having an ice cream with a friend. Is that too simple? It's funny saying, is that too simple? Because looking at another question that I believe came up a few days ago, or a statement I should say, was this work is so simple and yet so difficult. Simple to just be here. Difficult to be here openly, vulnerably. Is that what's difficult? Is the difficulty in image maintenance? Thoughts about how I should be, how others should be? Which help to create this resistance, dis-ease. So can awareness be brought to what is difficult, what seems difficult? This question of identification with the body is there something implied in that something is being cut off, neglected, being out of touch with it? Actually, with this work comes some greater sensitivity to what is actually here. Some more wisdom and caring for the organism. But one could also question further if one is so inclined, to what do we call my body? sitting here right now. Some inner quiet, stillness. Sounds of breathing, winding, feel of the floor, sensations of arms dangling. If I look up, if there's looking up, silent people sitting here. Distant hills, white sky, bird song, where's the dividing line? Except in thought. This is mine, that's yours. Going lightly with words, could it be said this whole universe is one's body? Meaning no separation. So in that care and kind attention, is that restricted to this here? To what the mind calls mine. Or is there a love emerging for everyone and everything? Is that possible at this instant of bird song, cool and warm air, Just listening. We'll end there.